Well, there we go. What's up, everyone? Good morning. Happy Friday. The Packers have one more practice prior to taking off for Houston to take on the Texans. The injury report keeps growing. David Bakhtiari not participating. Corey Linsley popped up on the injury report yesterday with that back issue that he's been battling for some time now, been off and on. But it's going to be an interesting week of trying to make people fit, whether it's Robert Big Bob Tonyan. Yes, Tonyan is the correct pronunciation, apparently. Maybe we see more Sternberger there. Tackle, I got to think they probably move Elton Jenkins out, but who knows? We'll see how they go about it. But there are going to be a number of guys asked to step up and contribute Sunday in Houston. Good morning, everybody. Good morning in the comment section. Krista, good morning. Morning from Brazil. What's up, Gustavo? How are you? Thanks for checking in. Good morning, Aaron. Remember, the Vikings suck. Harps. Traditionally, that's the Bears, but I'll take it. We'll allow it. That's pretty good. What are the odds of J.J. Watt coming to the Green Bay Packers? Slim to none, and Slim just left town. Do we think Kevin King will be back on the field? And what about Savage? The Texans wideout crew ain't no joke. Yeah, I mean, Kevin's still limited, so I would probably be surprised if he's out there on Sunday, unfortunately. And as far as Savage goes, yeah, I don't think he'll play. He hasn't practiced so far this week. Maybe he gets out there today and pulls off a miracle and he's good to go, but I tend to think both of those guys will be down. And you're right, that receiving core is no joke. It's next man up. Dustin, thank you for the super chat. Can anyone else turn what would have been an early second into a late third as effectively as the Vikings? I mean, Spielman's just doing his thing, man. We can only hope to understand. We can't wrap our minds around that kind of next level team building that the Vikings do. Dustin, thanks for the super chat. Let's sign Leroy, wait 5 years, boom, first round Hall of Fame. That's pretty good. That's a good workaround. I like it. Winter Garden, Florida. What's up, Kevin? How are you, man? Thanks for checking in. Nags for DC. Nobody wants Nags for DC. It'd be two-man, across the board 90% of the time, and they would just gouge us on the run because I would never commit bodies to it, and we would never be able to stop them before. So that would be it. Chad, this feels a lot like last year. I don't think that's surprising given that they brought back a lot of the same team, but I would contend that the first 4 games felt nothing like last year. Felt like they were steamrolling people on offense. That's something that rarely, if ever, happened. It's early still, too, by the way. A lot of season left. Are you all right? Ruben, thanks for the super chat. Which remaining defensive free agent would you like Green Bay to add and why? I mean, maybe Marcel Darius. I don't think there's anybody just sitting around on the street ready to help them. And this is your team. They got to make it happen. Do I think that Gutekunst is going to make a trade during the trade deadline? No, I do not. Yo, good morning, my dude. Good morning. What's up, Tony? How you doing? When do you think Lazard will be back? Duke, I mean, he was at practice these last 2 days, running along the side, so that's promising, obviously. I still think it's way early to be thinking about him coming back. I'm gonna stick with late November. Let's say that. I mean, that's bumped up from December, which is what I was originally thinking, but I'll go with late November. Team building time is over. Kind of yes and no. I mean, the offseason is that time. That is when you build your team. And Brian clearly put this very similar team, not completely the same, but a very similar team as to the one he had last year with some tweaks here and there. Yeah, I mean, looking for the cavalry to ride in middle of the season is not going to happen. Corey Mansky, a lot of ball game left, buddy. Mike, Nags, did Rodgers lose his cool after that pick six? Seemed like he turned into last year's model at that point. I don't think it happened after the pick six. I do think things started piling up. And after the second interception, he definitely started looking at the rush. And I also think because the Buccaneers got a lead, they started bringing it. They started bringing it early and often on the down and distance. And he started looking down. I mean, his eyes started drifting down. And I don't think that's surprising given how many times he was hit. 4 sacks. I mean, he was sacked as many times in that game as he had been all year. So I think, yes, he probably did revert to some bad habits. I don't think it was the pick six that did it. Although I will say there was a very interesting shot. If you go back and watch the broadcast after the second interception, LaFleur is standing over him next to him on the bench, and Devontae is in front of him. And Rodgers is like, I think, pulling down his hat or something. And he just goes like that and then takes a drink, and LaFleur waits. And it's like he definitely needed a cool off period after that. And I think that's expected. You know, I'm not saying that to say, oh, look what he's doing. It was just very revealing. You know, there's no question. It was a very frustrating afternoon. And I think that's understandable. See, we're all such prisoners of the moment. Za'Darius has been quiet. He was quiet against the Buccaneers. Correct. Literally the game previous to that, he had 3 sacks. And he has been hitting and pressuring the quarterback intermittently throughout the season. Now, has he been doing it at the same rate he was last year? Absolutely not. But the idea that he's, quote unquote, been quiet for 5 games, I think is a bit silly. The hit after the second interception is what got to A-Rod. It's possible. Absolutely possible. I was surprised he put himself in harm's way. Arthur, thanks for the super chat. You think the 1 seed is still in play? I like our chances with Seattle's divisional schedule. Oh, 1,000,000,000%. Don't forget the last year, the 1 seed came down to the literal final play of the regular season on Sunday Night Football. And the 49ers came up basically an inch short of giving the Packers home field advantage. There is so much ball game left. Yes, 1,000,000,000% the 1 seed is still in play. And I'm sure, as most of you I'm sure are aware, the 1 seed now means more than ever because there is only one team that gets the bye and gets the home field throughout. You get that bye. 2nd seed, no bye. So more than ever, you want that week to rest up and get healthy. Gary, happy to follow this team this season, but looking ahead, is General GM Brian looking to build further with possible comp picks this year and likely the year after too? I mean, it's impossible to say what exactly his plans are as far as how he's maneuvering and things like that. I will say the Jordan Love and A.J. Dillon picks tell you all you need to know about how forward thinking and looking Brian is. He's on a 5-year contract. He's in year 3. He wants to get to another contract. So he's trying to lay a foundation for the next iteration of the team. Now, some would argue that he does that to the detriment of his current team, much like his predecessor, Ted Thompson, did for many years. So we'll see how it plays out. But yeah, I don't think there's any doubt that he's maneuvering long term. And that's the gig. That's his job. Jovan Wallace. Jovan Wallace. Good morning. Good morning, Ron. How do you feel about having all 3 running backs out there on the field with either Williams or Jones and the jet sweep or lined up wide with Dillon in the backfield? Well, we saw some of that both against the Falcons and against the Bucs, mostly against the Falcons. I think there was a stat at one point that said they had more 3 running back sets in that game than the rest of the league had all year. But I think it's absolutely possible. And I think it's a good chance we see it. The longer Irvin is out, the more we'll see stuff like that. Although to hear Aaron Rodgers talk about A.J. Dillon this week, it sure doesn't sound like the quarterback is a fan of the idea of inserting Dillon unnecessarily. Now, that's not to say that he can't be utilized, especially in the way you're talking about, but I don't think they're going to force it to happen. But I do love that idea for a wrinkle. I think it could pay off big time. John, thanks for the super chat. Everyone has a plan till they get punched in the mouth. They need to work on how they react after that happens. 1,000,000,000% correct, John. Could not agree more. I literally said that on the radio the other day. That was the classic Mike Tyson. They had a great plan until they got punched in the mouth. And then it all fell apart. And that has been a bit of a theme with LaFleur's teams. So, yeah, I couldn't agree more. They certainly were searching after they got the haymakers and could never recover. Riley, thank you for the super chat. Why can't Mike Pettine be more aggressive? I mean, he can. He just chooses not to be. And I do think there is something to the idea of wanting to protect against the deep ball, which is clearly what he wants to do. Doesn't want to let explosive plays happen. The problem is that everything else is being allowed at the moment. And as who was it? Somebody pointed out the other day. I know Ben Fennell had put this up as well. He sent more 5+ rushers in that Tampa game than at any point this season. So it's not like you just quote unquote need to blitz more, which obviously is not what I'm talking about, but he does need to be more aggressive in the sense of not being so passive with the secondary, not being so passive in read and react on his 1st and 2nd down calls, pressuring the offense, dictating to the offense is much more what I'm talking about when it comes to how he just needs to approach these games, especially with teams that have quarterbacks who can pick you apart when they come to the line of scrimmage and they look around and they go, yep, that's going to be a cover 3. Oh, look, they made an adjustment. Well, now I just got to bring my back in for extra protection, and away they go. I mean, it's just too easy for these quarterbacks. Zach, thanks for the super chat. I'm old enough to remember when 12 said, we got a defense. Oh, God. Oh, it's sad how true that is. Why you got to bring me down here, man? Zach, it's Friday, man. Let's have some fun. Walter, thank you for the super chat. Thoughts on Mike Smith comments about the scheme? I mean, I love Mike, and he's one of the real ones, but I take everything when it comes to guys being asked questions after, say, a bad game or in the heat of the moment, so to speak. Got to take all of that with a grain of salt. Smith, if there's anybody who knows what the scheme can do, it's Mike Smith. He's been with Pettine nearly every step of the way. He's seen the thing evolve and become a kind of a living, breathing thing, changing from team to team, year to year. But I wouldn't put too much stock into it. Andrew, thank you for the super chat. The talking heads doing it is one thing, but Spoon talking about the salty Packers for almost 10 minutes on the pod was a bit much. Is Pettine unable to find an identity? Go, Pack, go. I mean, the identity thing is always interesting because, guys love to talk about the identity of the team unless, like you say, they're searching and or there isn't one. And then they're like, oh, it's such a nebulous thing. Like, you can never really put your finger on it. Yeah, I do think the defense lacks an identity. I mean, what is it? Last year, it was easy. It was the Smith brothers. But they're kind of MIA as a tandem, at least, So what is it now? I don't know. As far as like Spoon talking about the salty Packers, I mean, they kind of were, right? Well, that's Rodgers was. I mean, I don't think that's telling tales out of school or anything. I think that's fair game. Yosh gonna Wally Pip D-back. All right, relax. Mike Smith is awesome, dude. He's so much fun to talk to. If you're in Goody's shoes, do you give up a second-round pick for Quinnen Williams? This is why I always tell people you don't want me to be the GM. Because, yes, I do, but I don't think Brian does. Not for a second. Dustin, thank you for the super chat. What O-line combo does head coach Aaron Nagler put out on Sunday? What do you think Matt LaFleur will do? I think he'll do exactly what I want to do. Is he'll put Jenkins at tackle, run in at left guard, Lindsley, of course, at center, unless he's unable to go, then who knows? Patrick at right guard and probably Billy Turner at right tackle. I might switch out Wagner for Turner, but that's just me. And they clearly have not been inclined to go that way. Make sure I didn't miss any super chats. Okay, I don't think so. Good. As long as we have a GM does not want to add pieces that we need, we will be mediocre Packers. They're 4-1. I might have to go add some Baileys to this coffee. Mediocre. Fans who throw around words like mediocre or phrases like they don't want to win. Just go watch, listen to Colin Cowherd. Cheesehead TV ain't for you. I know mediocre, sir. This Green Bay Packers team is not mediocre. Since the 90s, they have not been mediocre. Have they had down years? Of course they have. But look across the league for a second. Did you watch the Thursday night game? Mediocre. Jesus, Harold. Joseph Christ. Jesse, thanks for the super chat. I feel like Jaire's performance isn't being talked about. Talk about it almost every day. What are you talking about? Someone traded Mike Evans to me in fantasy after his performance against Jaire. I mean, as I said right after the game, unless you maneuver your number one wide receiver into a position where he can get a free release, say into a bunch set, condensed bunch set, and then make Jaire going to work through the wash like a bunch of bodies, that is the only way you're freeing up your dude. Because otherwise, Jaire's got him on lockdown. I mean, that's it. So, yeah, 1,000,000,000%, man. Jaire is on fire. He's on all-pro track. Got to start holding on to a few more interceptions. Final of tonight's game. I got Bucky 27-10. Dude, I'm going to be asleep by the first quarter. Come on, it's Big Ten football, man. I don't know. I don't much care. But I'm very happy that my friends who enjoy Badgers football are excited. I will be pulling for you until I fall asleep, which I'm sure will be very soon. Dustin, thanks for the super chat. Aaron, talk about mediocre fans that don't want to win. Some of these people need to live in Vikings territory for a couple years and see mediocre. I mean, you ain't lying. Nags, has Corey recovered from his transplants rant yet? Yeah, I think he's doing all right. I think he felt pretty good about getting all that off his chest. It was pretty good. If you haven't checked it out, go check out this week's Packer Transplants. This week in the Packer blogosphere section was amazing. Michael, thank you for the super chat. Happy Friday, Nagler. Would you rather throw a goal line fade on 4th down or defend it with a 3-man rush? Oh, my God. Oh, my God. I'll say that's easy, actually. Defend it with a 3-man rush. We have seen the 3-man rush be very, very productive in defending, in the red zone, etc. Didn't happen on Sunday against the Buccaneers, but that has worked really well for the Packers under Mike Pettine historically. The goal line fade is a waste of a down, especially on 4th down. Are you kidding me? Good Lord. Nathaniel, thanks for the super chat. What's up, Nags? Do you see us getting rid of Pettine if the defense doesn't improve this season? I think they will give it this season. I don't think there will be an in-season firing, but I think it's a possibility. As we've talked about often, Pettine was not forced upon LaFleur, but it was strongly suggested that he keep him. And what head coach doesn't want his own dude? So, yeah, I think if the defense is deemed problematic, yeah, Matt will make a move. Wouldn't surprise me at all. Did you read the ESPN article on Rodgers? Are they just trolling him at this point? Well, how did people read that as negative? I thought that article was hilarious and brilliant and a great job of showing the fun, idiosyncratic ways of one Aaron Charles Rodgers. I don't know. I think fans are just kind of conditioned to see slights everywhere. I thought that was so much fun. That stuff about the frat and all. Oh my God, it was hilarious. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm old. Austin, thanks for the super chat. Opinion on Greg Jennings trying to save face? I feel for Greg, man. I'm just going to say it. I know Packer fans hate him and whatever and blah, blah, blah. But look, Greg Jennings was in the huddle, was in the locker room, was on the field. He played with Aaron Rodgers for multiple years. And everyone wants to say, and then he talks out of turn after he's not a Packer anymore and blah, blah, blah. Clearly, that's annoyed Rodgers throughout the years. And for whatever reason, they haven't really stayed in touch. And I get all that. But Greg Jennings helped you win a Super Bowl. He brought a title back to Titletown. He's one of the best wide receivers we've seen in the modern Packers age. Yeah, of course he doesn't want to be ridiculed every time he opens his mouth or goes on Twitter or whatever. And Packers fans are just instantly all up in his grill. And look, whatever he said about Aaron, that's his viewpoint. He lived it. He's allowed to have those feelings. And I get it. People are allowed to pile back on when he talks about it, whatever. I understand all that. But at some point, you got to step back and go, all right, this guy was incredibly productive, was an insane member of the Packers for a number of years, and helped us win a Super Bowl. Just let that shit go, man. I'll welcome Greg back with open arms. It's all good in my book. Oh, the number one Packer fan. So, Aaron, how are you? You seem a little down in the dumps. Still the dumbest question I've ever heard in a reporting room. You haven't been in many reporting rooms then. Sorry to say. That doesn't even enter the conversation of the dumbest thing said in any press conference setting, locker room or Zoom. Happy early birthday to Krista. Krista, happy birthday. Hopefully the Packers get a big W for you. All right, I'm going to have to get going. I can't thank you guys enough for hanging out, talking some Packers. Let's hope the Packers get down there to Houston, get this W, and get this thing back on the right track. Please do me a monster favor. Hit like on this video. Subscribe to the channel. If you're so inclined, consider giving us $5 a month on our Patreon page, patreon.com/cheeseheadtv. It supports everything we do, these live chats, our weekly show, Packer Transplants, and, of course, 5+ hours of live streaming each and every week for every single game. But if you can't totally get it, I will say, though, last night's Zoom happy hour for Patreon members was off the hook. It was a lot of fun. But if you can't, I totally get it. Just hit like, hit subscribe, tell your friends, tell your family. Cheesehead TV, we are devoted to Green Bay Packers fans worldwide. Thanks a lot, everybody. See you on Sunday. Go Pack, go.